All right, and we are back with another episode of The Buzz. I'm your host, Sherwin with Gospel Music Buzz. Follow us, Gospel Music Buzz, on all social media platforms. Happy Women's History Month, and today we're joined by Multi-Grammy Award-winning, nationally syndicated host, Erica Campbell. Erica, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Hello, hello.
Yes. And how are you doing today? I mean, I'm assuming you're feeling all right, feeling blessed, but how are you doing?
Yes, I am. I love that. I caught that. I am. All is well. Can't complain. My daughter's home from college and spending some time with her a little bit later. So I'm excited. And then my son has a performance tonight. So all is well in the Campbell house.
Oh, love it. I know you have a daughter that's away in college. I mean, what does that say? You just one have already left the nest. What is that feeling for you?
It's exciting but nerve-wracking because I just miss her. She's a great kid, but I'm happy for her growth and, her becoming the woman she will become. Praying that I placed enough inside of her for her to walk in her purpose and not bump into too many walls. I know she'll hit some because she's 18, but hopefully not too many.
Not too many. That can always be the prayer for all of our kids as they tend to leave the nest gradually. So yes. And I know you recently won an NAACP Image Award for your single Positive. I mean, you've won several awards before, but how much more important is this award for you? The NAACP Image Award for Positive, how much more important is this award for you?
The Image Award is great because it's by your peers, you know what I mean? And by peers, I mean Black people, not just overall in music, like say with the Grammys or American Music Awards. And I don't know, it just feels really, really great to be acknowledged just for the song period. The song was just very important to me to shift mindsets. I understand a lot of people are struggling, but choosing to be positive, choosing to focus on who God has called you to be, who you are, your assignment, your purpose is crucial to your success. You have to take an active part in being positive. And so I was just really excited for that song to go and be number one and then, win an award. It's just really, really amazing and very, very rewarding.
Yeah, I know it was nominated for Grammy as well. And you mentioned, number one on the charts, but you touched on something just now, but being very active in, wanting to achieve that positivity. Can you expand a little bit more on that? Like, what are some things that you have done and continue to do? Because I know being positive, it's a daily thing, right? Not just a one-off thing. So what are some things that you continue to do just to be in that space?
Staying positive is so important to me because I'm in the music industry.
Yeah.
I'm a gospel artist, I'm a mom, I'm a wife. And so there's always things that you can latch onto that are negative that will tell you that things will be horrible. I often tell my kids, I ask my children, what are you saying to yourself about yourself? It's crucial and very important. So I tell myself that I'm more than a conqueror. I tell myself that I'm an overcomer. I tell myself that I'm capable to do what I'm doing. I tell myself that the rooms that I walk in, God opened the door for me and I'm supposed to be there. So I try not to lead with insecurity, though we all have it. I try not to lead with doom and devastation, even though we know that's real in the world that we live in today. I try to put hope ahead of it. And so that'll put you in the right direction of being positive. And if scripture tells us to think on whatsoever things are lovely and pure and of a good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. And a lot of times we are so busy trying to protect ourselves from what's going wrong. We're not acknowledging what is right, and God is right. And he always protects his own. And so when you kind of live in that space, you have to constantly remind yourself, because it's easy to kind of go the other way when you see what's going on in the world, or, maybe someone says no, or you don't get the job, or, you know what I mean? Some contract doesn't go through, or something you're trying to do doesn't come off the way you want it to. You have to tell yourself, but I know that there's purpose in what was placed on the inside of me. So I'll do it again. It didn't work that time, but I'll do it again. I won't quit on me. And that's the intentional work that I do with myself, especially when you hear people's stories of how long it's taken them to get to success, or how long they've been dreaming, or how long they've been working at it. People, overnight success is usually never overnight. And so you have to stay positive and stay on the grind and keep pushing in order to get to that place or that level of success.
You mentioned just now, and sometimes when things doesn't always go in the direction that you hope that they may go in, but also too in terms of just, staying on the grind. This makes it 10 years now, I believe, if my math is correct, that you've been a solo artist. You've been with me, you were with Mary, but when you branched off, I believe 2013 or so. In those beginning days, I'm sure there was a lot of concern, even in your own head, like, hey, how are people going to perceive it, me as a solo artist versus Mary? But now 10 years down the line, just looking back at the beginning, what were some of those thoughts and how has those kind of dispelled over the years?
Oof. Can you do this? Why are you doing this? Mary is successful. You guys have a highly rated reality show. You just won a Grammy for Go Get It. Your last record out. Your phone is ringing constantly. Why? And in addition to Tina taking a break, I just felt like I was supposed to keep going. I knew it in my heart. And so it was God's opportunity to remind me of the dreams that I had. And it was not easy because nobody was on board. I literally lost members of my team because they didn't like a little more Jesus. I would go into interviews and every interview would be like, what is this you doing? Where is Mary? Even now, people still ask, no matter what I've achieved as a solo artist, when is Mary coming back? Probably the same thing that BB and CC have to do when they're having interviews, or the Clark sisters when they do solo stuff. It just is what it is. So I learned not to be offended by it, but it didn't always feel good. I think the thing that stung the most was a comment from a random fan. I don't know who it was, but they put, you don't need a little more Jesus. You need a little more Tina because she's the singer. You're just she's the singer. You're the pretty one. So, so I heard a lot. Even managers and people that I would work with, they would be working with me and they would say, but if we had Mary, then it would really, So I went back to square one, even from the amount of money that I was taking, the type of hotels, how I would travel, all of that. I had hosted the Stellar Awards maybe 3 or 4 times. And when it came time for me to perform A Little More Jesus, which was the first song I came out with, they only gave me 1 minute and 34 seconds. I couldn't perform the whole song, and it had to be a collaborative performance with 3 other artists. So it was a lot. Yeah.
No, and again, just because I've seen certain things in that process, but I mean, this year, being such a long time in that you're doing that, and to still think that some of those are still lingering around, which is it's kind of crazy. But I mean, regardless of the fact that you're still showing up every day, you're still getting on that grind, you're still showing up with that positivity that you kind of led with before. And I think that that's important, because a lot of times it's one thing to sing about something, but it's to actually live it, do it while you're actively singing about it. And that's why I believe everyone gravitates so much to these records that you're releasing, because they're not just words on the paper, right? This is stuff that you're going through and dealing with every single day. So thank you for sharing that.
More than welcome.
And, just, on a slightly funnier side of things, how should I phrase this? What's one of your most funniest fan moment? Because I'm assuming, I'm not going to say it during the Stellas, because I know during the Stellas, if you come out of the hotel, everywhere you go, you can't even grab coffee. Everyone is there sticking a phone in your face. But is there any fan moment that you care to share?
Oh, there's a few. I remember the year the Stellas were in Nashville, and me and Tina were staying at the Gaylord Hotel, and it's a group that was, I guess, staying on the same floor, and me and Tina came out of the elevator, and they were like kind of down the hall, and all we heard was Mary, and it was 4 girls, and they charged us and jumped on us and hugged. It was like, it was cool. I was like, where's your camera, girls? Let's take pictures. Nice to see you. They were amazing singers. It was great. Me too. But it was intense. And then there was a time we were in Ottawa, Canada, and I was married by then. I think I'd been married like 2-3 years. And a guy came up with a scarf, and it had Erica, and it had his name. And he said the Lord told him that I was his wife. And I said, I'm sorry, the Lord forgot to tell you that I'm already married? Like, the Lord didn't. Now, which Lord were you talking to, pray tell? Because the one I serve knows. I don't know if your Lord. So yeah, it's been some craziness.
Wow, that's hilarious, because I mean, it's one of those things, right? Kind of looking at it from the outside. Everyone puts celebrities on a pedestal, right? They're not looking at the humanized side of it. And we're feeling as though, we know you guys, right? Because we were watching it from the outside. We were seeing some of the ups, some of the downs.
Yes.
And we were watching it grow. And we were like, oh my goodness, I know this person. And when you see the person, your first approach is, hey, I'm going to go give them a hug or shake their hands. And then something got to click in your hand like, oh, wait a minute, but they really don't know you. You can't just approach it like that. So,
but I'm very comfortable with my fans and supporters. I always tell them, especially when they say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to bother you. I'll tell them, I'm only here because of you. I'm here because you bought the music, because you watched the show, because you followed on social media. And so I'm always appreciative, and I, want to say hello. I want to hear your stories, because I'm not doing it just for the charts. I'm doing it to change lives. And so when people hear their story and share their testimony, it lets me know that I'm doing something right. Have I reached everybody I want to reach? No. Have I achieved all the success I want to achieve? No. But there have been people that I know I've been blessed to touch and change their life. So when I meet them, it is an honor. Not the entitled ones. There's some entitled ones. Pretty funny. Yeah. I think they think they own you a little bit. Like, I don't know. I'm like, yo, I'm not yours. The music is, but I'm not. So.
Oh my God, I love your attitude. No, we're in Women's History Month. Yes. You've authored a book, More Than Pretty, doing the soul work that uncovers the true beauty.
Yes.
Let's touch a little bit on why, like the necessity behind that book, why you felt like, hey, this is needed right now. What were some of the inspirations and things that you see, maybe even in your own life and family members' life, that you're like, hey, this needs to be, written down, this needs to be shared with others?
With everything that I had learned and gone through, my mom has always said, you don't go through for yourself. Your testimony will encourage and bless somebody else. And so I knew that there were lessons that I had learned, and the enemy will try to demonize who you are and make you feel bad for what you are, whether you are tall and statuesque and beautiful and you don't realize it, and you've spent your whole life hating the fact that you're tall, or being the girl who sings in church and feeling like that means I'm corny, I'm not cool, you know what I mean? I can't do this, I can't do that, because I always have to be in choir rehearsal, and not realizing that it was literally training and prep for who I am today. And so when you realize that all that you are will serve a purpose in your life, and you learn those lessons, it's like, gosh, I've got to share this. So the chapters reflect learning, creating new normals, your circle of friends, knowing who you are, being comfortable in your own skin, being honest about your past and what God has brought you from, and realize that too is a testimony. I had to write it down. And, because I'm so optimistic, people think I'm optimistic because everything's been great. They don't realize this is like a literal choice, that I could talk about the things that suck too. I mean, that I could get in my little bubble and be afraid. I could too, but I choose not to. Everybody's personality isn't like mine. I'm naturally optimistic and hope-filled, even when things suck. Like I was in a car accident and I was like, I didn't die. You know what I mean? As opposed to in a car accident, I was, but I'm also still alive, So whether it was breakup with boyfriends, because I talk a lot about that, and a lot of that happened while I was, out front. And so learning to process that while still having to serve in church and on stage, and sing songs like Can't Give Up and sing songs like Help and all those things when you feel like, God, I'm not even getting the help that I need, and I have to tell them, So when you learn that and you experience that, I realized it was a book. And then I was doing the radio show, and every segment, I do like 3 different segments, something called the Erica-ism of the day, the faith walk, and the love talk. And as I was talking, I was going, hey, you kind of know some stuff. Write this down. And I just started gathering. And I had like a stack of notebooks like this high of just thoughts and ideas and lessons and testimonies and concepts. And so I wanted to put it in a book. And so I did for More Than Pretty. And I'm still talking about it to this day. And it was written a few years ago, 2017 or 18. And I'm just really grateful for the impact that it's making. And that's the cool thing about a book. It's here forever. Just like the here forever. Yeah.
Exactly. No, and definitely.
Testimony. So the testimony is here forever. That's more important.
Yeah, yeah. No, and that's 100% because, we have two daughters, and I think kind of, looking at that and just even looking from afar with, certain things, that they're now going through and they're now dealing with, and the comparison, I'm like, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that, but still there's this constant comparison. So I think having resources out there that you can point them to say, hey, check this out, or you do this, or what may have you, definitely is necessary. So I'm glad that, that's another resource that's out there as well too, that we can go back and reference. But
and have them listen to the audiobook. How old are they?
14 to 15.
Oh, for sure. Have them listen to the audiobook.
Perfect. I definitely will do that for sure. And I will send you a message with any feedbacks.
Thank you.
Thank you to that. And kind of just thinking of their ages right now, if you were to speak to your 15-year-old self, 15-year-old Erica, running around the high school hallway, stressing about whatever she's stressing about, knowing what you know now, what would you say to that little girl?
Oh, God, I would tell her, don't worry, everything's going to be all right. But she wouldn't listen. It's a hard head. Hard head. And you don't learn it until you learn it. And so you have to be intentional with girls with the empowering messages. And it has to be wrapped in scripture because there's more power in the word of God. And even if they don't process it, that word of God will take root when you make them say it and you have those conversations and you give them the examples. It helps them to see and realize the truth of God. I remember when my daughter was a young girl, there was a show on television. In this particular episode, every woman that was on there was brown skin. Two of them had natural hair. And then I had a Essence magazine, and that woman was brown. And so I was telling her, I was just going, oh, look at all these beautiful brown women. I didn't make it weird. But I was like, oh, look at this beautiful brown woman. Oh, she's chubby like you. Oh, look at her. Oh, look at her hair. Oh, she has a puff like you. She's on TV. Oh my God, she's so beautiful. And so she was able to see that. And I'm sure she still had her stuff. But my goal and my effort was to affirm her, to allow her to see versions and visions of herself in successful places, influential places that would allow her to know that that is possible too, that you don't only see people that look opposite of you in positions of power,
I love that. And that's definitely something that I myself need to implement a bit more for sure. 100%.
Absolutely.
And, we were mentioning this just in the gospel music industry in it of itself, right? You've been very impactful, again, with you and Gina, you by yourself, just overall your contribution to the industry. But I think one of the things that I admire more about you, you started doing it even more actively. You have been doing it, but even more actively the last few years, was your intentional approach of sending the elevator back down. You started with your, support Kingdom Music. I see you support so much independent artists there that otherwise will never, by the break of day, get that level of, push, that level of visibility. What you're doing also on the show, you bring on independence on some Thursdays and then different other things. But why is that so important for you to really champion that cause?
Because everybody needs a shot. Everybody needs a chance. And when you don't have the big machine and the big money behind you, I know the influence that God has given me. So me just posting them on my page allows them to be seen by people who wouldn't normally see. I'm grateful for the social media following that I have. There is a director who worked on, I think, a few seasons of Mary that literally comes to my page just for Kingdom Music.
Wow.
And he says, thank you all the time. Thank you for introducing me to this person and that person. And so it's just, I love that. I love hearing that. And it is always intentional. If I know one of my friends are going on tour, I know what it means, not just for them to win, but for someone in the genre to win. When the powers that be sees that a gospel concert can sell out a venue in a mainstream area, then they're open to other artists, So if I shed light, then it not only works for them, it works for all of us. So as people realize there's great music that is still contemporary, also hip hop, also choir, also quartet, it just helps us as a whole, And so I'm always willing to push that forward. I don't know that I got a lot of that when I started, probably because I was at Columbia with a big company with a big push.
Yeah.
I didn't always feel supported by the people that were ahead of me, and I never wanted anybody to feel that. And so I try to be intentional. If I see them at the Stellars, you know, whether it being an encouraging message or sending them a note through their manager or publicist, I always try to just send that bit of encouragement because it's so important. They may need it, use it, remember it, or may not, but I know my heart is always to genuinely be kind and genuinely encourage them to keep going because this is tough.
No,
The industry is tough, and then the devil is tough, and then we're fighting our own things, you know, not to mention if you're in the group, everyone has a different mindset, you know, it's just, it's crazy.
No, well, again, you know, even though they all say thank you on behalf of all of them, I'm going to say thank you again because it's amazing to see. I want to see a whole lot more of that from everyone else, but you're doing it and it's just so amazing, so powerful. I've known independent artists that have called me literally in tears, like, did you see this? Did you see that? And I'm like, yeah, I see it. Definitely keep pushing, keep going. So you're making a massive impact, whether you know it or not, with just that alone.
Wow. Great.
You know, I know we're coming up close on time, but I wanted to just, you know, kind of spotlight again, even with your, you know, nationally syndicated radio show. This is the 6th year that you're going into that gig. So congratulations to you on that. And, you know, with the radio show, you know, 7 years? Oh, yes. It's 7 years. So I guess I have to carry the one and say, but, you know, with the radio show, your music career, you know, you're a first lady at Cali Worship. Shout out to your church. You know, you guys just had an amazing, you know, choir night just recently. You know, I wasn't there, but I saw from your IG live, it was rocking.
So good.
So with all of that in and of itself, like, how do you, you know, balance your responsibilities with the station, doing a show so many days a week, with the music career? You're a mom, you're a wife, you're a first lady. There's a whole lot going on there. How are you kind of balancing all that and still finding time just for your own, you know, relaxation and your own, you know, mental space?
God gives you the ability to gain wealth. He gives you the ability to do it. Family is wealth. Ministry is wealth. And I don't mean wealth in money. It's just this rich feeling of life and purpose, and like you're doing something that matters. Like for the choir night, we didn't charge anybody. It's literally a free offering, you know.
Wow.
And you know, you can't bring artists for free, so there's a cost. You just do it.
Yeah.
You know, I have an idea, and if I can pull it off with my team, my ministry team or my solo team, I just do it. I don't know. It's funny because people always ask women this question. I don't know. Do they ask men, how do you balance? I don't think anybody ever asked a man that. They only ask.
You know, someone said that before, right? And I'm always cautious when I'm about to ask that question, especially if I'm asking it to a woman. But, you know, I view it just logistically. I'm looking at this strictly just from a logistics standpoint.
Right.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And I've spoken to others too that are just running around and doing a lot. But, you know, I have to think about that. Maybe it's a question I just don't ask as much, but just from a
it's a legit question.
It's a logistic standpoint.
It's a legit question, especially because I don't think the way men tend to family is different than the way a woman tends to family.
100%. Yeah.
You know what I mean? The house, the children, you know, grocery shopping, all the things. It's how a woman tends to a family is different than a man. So, and that is very important to me. Like I cook in my house. Like we had, you know, fried chicken and fried fish sandwiches, or, you know, my husband will say, oh, I want some deviled eggs, or I want a pot roast, or, you know, my kids, I want tacos, I want spaghetti, whatever. And I cook at home because I want them to feel I want them to have that experience. It's very important, even at my church, that I be present. So I sing on the worship team. I am over the women's ministry. I will go and speak to the children in children's ministry. I will be a part of the media and arts. I'm actually in the choir. Like I sing in the soprano section. So, you know, I'm in there. You know, I'm all in there. I don't just sit on the front. I speak sometimes. My husband will have me preach sometimes. So I'm very much a part. So yes, the balancing is it's a work of art. It's a masterpiece, a puzzle piece, Lego pieces strategically placed in getting rest and traveling, days on, days off, and things like that. I don't do this by myself. I shout out to my assistants and my, administrators who make it all happen, Misty and Brooke, who organize and structure my life. But then there's an agent and there's a manager and, my husband and all that. So we discuss it all. What's coming? Is this birthday season? Is this kid's birthday season? So like my son's birthday and my birthday are close, but they're also dates. So I'm like, not on this day, fly me out that day because I have to go, I have to have lunch with Zaya. So it's just really strategic in that way. We knew that we wanted to drive Krista down to Atlanta to go to Spelman. So we were like, no shows during this time. And they were like, oh, well, you drop her off on the 18th. You can do it on the 19th. I was like, on the 19th, I'm going to be crying. I can't do nothing on the 19th after I drop my child off but cry. So, it's making them sensitive to all things, Erica, church, mom, wife, vacation time and all that. Because sometimes I'll go on a date and they'll go, oh, you do this Zoom? I'm going, it's daytime.
Oh.
Knowing when to say no, knowing when to say yes is very important. If I am a public success and a private failure, then I'm a failure.
Wow.
I'm a public success and my kids don't like me.
Oh.
Failure.
Wow,
So
that's a lot. But no, you said it all just in that one statement as well. Just also knowing when to say no, because again, I'm sure the invite's always going to keep coming, but knowing when to say no. And then, the last question I have here is just from you've done a lot so far up until this point, right? Between authors, singing on some of the biggest stages, a lot of collaborations you've done, you've achieved a lot of awards. Is there anything on Erica's bucket list? You've done TV as well, as I mentioned earlier. There are some things that you're like, you know what? In the next few years, I think I want to, dedicate some time, wherever that time is going to come from, but dedicate some time towards this thing. Maybe I want to do a few movies. Maybe I want to do something else. Is there anything there that you're thinking in the next few years you want to tackle?
Sure. I want to do a movie. I want to do a feature film. I want to do a world tour.
Oh, wow.
I want to do a bigger Erica Campbell tour, more robust. So many more lives to touch, so many more people to reach, so many more women and young women I want to impact. I really want to start a mentorship for young artists. Me and Tina have talked about this extensively, and not just via social media, but literally face-to-face, really imparting and knowledge, usable knowledge. Because, you can see something, but usable that literally you can have a blueprint, a plan, operate this way, all those things that help you get to where God has blessed me to get to. And so, a lot of plans.
I love every single one that you just said. And I think also with the mentorship, I think that would be huge. That's necessary because everyone is out there trying to navigate the best way they can. And, I think having something like that in place would be amazing. And when that world tour happening, I'll start buying my tickets to all these different countries in advance.
Yes.
So I can cover up.
Come see me in Amsterdam, Paris.
Exactly.
Yes, London, all of it.
I'm with it. I'm coming up right now. I know you have several dates, but you're going to be out in Philly for the Root Picnic with Alan Blackstone. Also in April, MC Light, Warren Campbell presents My Block. You guys are going to be there at the Kennedy Center. What are some other dates that you have coming up close by that you care to mention? And just kind of where can everyone just tap into what's going on, all things Erica Campbell, so that they can know what's happening?
They can definitely follow me on social media, or they can go to I'mEricaCampbell.com and check it out. I'm actually singing with the Dallas Symphony Orchestra the last week in March. I'll make sure to post that. I'm super excited about that opportunity. But yeah, there's a lot going on. I'll definitely keep you aware. I'm working on my new record, so I'm trying to not do so much. So I can just focus on the creative and building and getting ready for this new season of music. I haven't had a record out since 2014, 2015. 2015 is when Help and Help 2.0 came out. So I got to get ready for that.
Actually, sorry, you mentioned you're working on your new record. And I definitely want to make sure I also talk about your most recently released single, Feel All Right. That's available right now everywhere that everyone needs to go and get that song, but and get that record. But for that track, Feel All Right, what was the inspiration behind that when you were writing it? Like the space you were in, kind of writing that song, just ensuring like, hey, I want to make sure that this message get out there.
I wanted something to feel like a Bruno Mars, Lionel Richie with All Night Long mashup. Up-tempo, but declaring how blessed we are, dance along, sing along. I wanted it to be a stadium song where you sing one line and they sing the other line behind you. I wanted that on purpose, but I needed it to empower your faith, with the I'm blessed, over and over again at the end. It's just, and it has been, I love that song. Like so many people have told me that I wanted people to have something that they can listen to. So many people have told me that they listen to it in the morning, literally to start their day, to get ready. Like it gets you, it gets going, And so I'm super excited about this song. I don't think I've done a song like this before, not by myself. And so I'm really, really happy about it, hoping it reaches people, blesses the people. And it's something that they kind of add to their daily music list to just, get you up and going.
Yeah, it's definitely on our Sunday drive list because my wife puts it on all the time when we're driving to church. We drive about an hour and a half, going about an hour and a half, coming back, and it rotates every single time. She loves it as well too. Oh, nice. I love it. It's a great single for sure. Great record. Message is very positive, and even the cover is just fun. The cover is it's just something there that just it definitely gravitates to that. So I wanted to make sure we talk about that. That's available everywhere right now. Y'all go on ahead, get that single, get everything having to do with that. And we cannot wait to see all the things that's going to be trickling out with this new record, the new album that's going to be coming. Super, super excited about that. Before we wrap, can you leave us with a word of encouragement? Could be a prayer, could be encouragement, just something for anyone that is out there, independent artist, could be musician, broadcaster now getting started, just someone that is there. They may be hit a rut trying to figure out what's really happening in their life this moment, and what would you say to that person?
My husband gave this analogy of buying a plane ticket somewhere. When you buy the ticket, you know where you're going, you know the destination. But the road to the plane, to the flight, is long, right? You got to pack your bags, figure out what you're taking, check the weather, where you're going, right? And then you got to get to the airport. Maybe it's a lot of traffic. And then when you get to the airport, you still got to go through TSA. And at TSA, maybe they take some things out of your bag. Maybe you have to go back to ship some things because maybe you brought something that was too big for the journey to be carried in your hands. It needs to be in your luggage, right? And then when you get to the gate, you still have to wait. Is the plane there yet? Once the plane gets there, whoever came on that plane has to deplane. Then they have to clean it. Then you get on the plane. Once you get on the plane, you have to wait on everybody else to get on the plane. Then you take the flight. Sometimes the flight is long. Sometimes the flight is short. Sometimes there's turbulence. Sometimes you have some, turmoil even on the flight. And then you get to your destination. When you think of life in those respects, of all the things leading up to getting to your destination, you're not surprised when there's chaos. You're not surprised when there's a pitfall or issues or rejection or someone says no. You've just got to keep going because you know your destination. That's in work, but in as a believer, heaven is the destination. So if we're really trying to get to heaven and we want to take someone with us, there's going to be some chaos. The scripture says, in this life, you will have tribulation, but thanks be unto God who always gives us the victory, who always causes us to triumph. So no matter how chaotic and tumultuous the journey, you'll get to the destination. Focus on the destination. Focus on getting there. What is the destination all about? What's going to be waiting on you at the destination? So if you have some chaos trying to get there, it's okay. It's just a part of the journey, but you will get there if you keep going, if you keep pushing, if you rise above, if you understand that chaos and turmoil sometimes go with the process, you'll get there.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm sure everyone is definitely going to appreciate that. You will get there. Guys, this is Erica Campbell. Make sure you get the new single that is out, Feel All Right. Make sure you tune in to Get Up with Erica in the mornings. And that's going to be on, that's going to be 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you tune into that. Follow her on social media. Lots going on. Too much to list. All of that, but she's going to be all over it. Just look for a CD somewhere and you're going to see her. Tune in, check it out. Erica, thank you so much. And oh yeah, before I go, I also told my wife that I'm going to make sure, she said hi. Her name is Jeanette. Jeanette, say hi. She said she's a huge fan.
Hi,
make sure you say that.
Hi, Jeanette, and thank you for making them listen to the music. Play it as much as you want. Stream it as much as you want.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You have yourself a great day.
You too.
All right, take care. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Hey there, it's Erica Campbell, and you're watching Gospel Music Buzz.